How we doing, YouTube? Are you good? Are you well? Are you fine? I certainly hope so. Welcome back to the channel for this week. We're doing something a little bit different from what we've been doing previously. That Force Unleashed video that we did, we will do the second part to that. I promise we will do that very soon. But a thought occurred to me whilst we were on stream during the week, which, by the way, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, you should come hang out with us. You know, bit of Destiny, bit of solo stuff, multiplayer things in the evening. It's great. It's fun. Come hang out. Hit that subscribe button. Do all that. Anyway, the original point. We had this thought while we were playing Battlefront. That Battlefront 3, it's never going to happen. And it's a really depressing idea. But EA basically scrapped any development that they had of it because apparently it costs too much to make and they won't make the money back. Or some shit like that. Like, apparently, us Star Wars fans won't pay for a game that has Star Wars written on it. They think it would not make its money back. Or not make enough money. Like, alright, whatever. It's bullshit. It's a lie. We all know that Star Wars would totally make its money back on whatever they slap Star Wars on. It's kind of how they made this multi-billion-dollar merchandise kind of empire thing. You know? Do you want Luke Skywalker figures? Han Solo, Boba Fett, who had 5 lines in the original trilogy before they actually did more with him. What about a Jawa? Do you want a fucking Jawa? Here, look, have a Jawa figure. We bought them. We did it. That was a thing. That was a thing that everyone did. They bought all the figures, and they're worth a ridiculous amount of money now. So don't tell me you can't put Star Wars on something and it won't make money. It's a lie, EA. You know it's a lie. This concept of Battlefront 3, sorry. I was going to say Battlefield. Like, no, we don't want that. Battlefront is a game that would be amazing to play. And Battlefront itself, right? We've got, obviously, 2 versions of it across the years. The original Battlefront 2, back from 2005, is amazing. From a nostalgic point of view. You remember playing that with your friends or playing it by yourself, you know, after school, on the weekends when you don't have to do anything, hours spent running around as a clone trooper fighting or in the rebellion or whatever, playing Galactic Conquest. Like, that shit was amazing. It combined all the space battles and the land battles. You could play Hunt, you could play Assault, you could play Capture the Flags. There was all this different stuff across all these maps. And then different things you could get. You know, get X amount of kills with an assault rifle, it gets you an elite assault rifle. Do that enough times, and then you just start the game with that. And you could do this across, like, this whole list of things. And, oh, it was beautiful. I loved it. But it hasn't aged particularly well. Cut across to the more recent ones, and how did I put it on stream? It's not that they aren't bad, it's just that the first one is, and the second one launched terribly. The first one was rushed and there was no single player. There was nothing with that. There was no single player released because it was brought out in time for Force Awakens, which, from a marketing standpoint, makes perfect sense. You release a new Star Wars game, you want to get the hype with it, tied into the hype with the movie, the first movie since Revenge of the Sith. Like, Except, from a development standpoint, it meant half the shit wasn't done and we got an unfinished turd of a game. Which was alright. Me. So, we then fast forward to Battlefront 2, which, look at from what it is now, the finished product with the Scarif update and everything like that. It is a ludicrous amount of fun to play. You can run co-op, you can run the campaign, which is alright, bit predictable, but it's there. So you've got the campaign, you've got co-op to play with friends against AIs if you want it, you've got other varying forms of PvP, you've got Starfighter stuff, you've got the big grand galactic ones if you want to do that. But what it was at launch was atrocious. It was a money grab of... It was such a money grab that it even made EA seem like, it's a bit much EA, isn't it? Like... It affected their stock price. EA has always been known for being kind of shit. I mean, I'm looking at you, FIFA, Madden, and NHL Ultimate Team. have always been known for their money-grabbing techniques, but this one was so bad that it actually made people go, "It's a bit much even for you, isn't it?" It was bad. And then DICE were getting pissy because they were going on about how we've made such a good game. And no one cares. They only care about the loot boxes. It's a AAA fucking title. Of course we're pissed about the loot boxes. If I just paid 50 quid for a game, I don't expect to have to try and unlock cards and loot boxes that I have to spend money to get. Sir. I also don't expect to have to pay for fucking Darth Vader. You give me this shit and you expect me to be happy with it. No, that's not how it goes. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So, we don't want EA producing another game. I'm happy with that. I don't mind. I'm quite happy that they've gone, we're done with Star Wars. Like, good, we've been done with you for a while. You gave us 4 games. Give us Fallen Order 2 with a developer that has actually done well with the game. And then fuck off. Give it to someone else. Let's see what they do. We've got Aspire doing Knights of the Republic, so we're hopeful for that. But it's not EA. EA has Respawn. They're doing Fallen Order. They did Fallen Order 2. Like, give that, then go away. Leave us be. But we were then talking about in the stream. This is again tangent. This is what we were talking about with Battlefront 3. It would be an amazing thing, but who would you get to even do it? Who would you trust? Who would you trust to make a shooter game? I'm sure a lot of people's picks would have actually been DICE. Maybe without the EA interference, but people would have picked DICE. But after what Battlefield was, no. So who do you trust next? You go with Activision? Well, they've got Call of Duty, but they've got Call of Duty, so why would they give a fuck about Star Wars? They don't need it. Would you go Ubisoft? Well, they're not really known for doing massive shooter things. They'll do a good open world Star Wars game if you believe the rumours, but they're not really going to be like a Battlefront style thing. So who would you even trust to make this? I don't know. Bungie, maybe. They do Destiny. They create good sci-fi things with good shooting mechanics. It could work, but also not sure. And what would I think would be the best thing, if it was me, that I think they need to focus on for a Battlefront 3 game, is in fact... Okay, unpopular opinion here. The Galactic Civil War is bad for games. I'll say it. The original Star Wars can never go away. It is incredible. Cinematic icon. New Hope, Empire, and Return of the Jedi. Oh, amazing. Fucking amazing. And the characters come with it, the lore that came with it, everything that it span off and exploded into this phenomenon that is Star Wars, that I myself and others obviously enjoy a great deal. Look at my background. But in terms of making it into a game, there's not enough. So in New Hope, we start in Tatooine. There's no war on Tatooine. The Death Star, there's not really a fight on the Death Star. So we then go to Yavin. Well, there's the space battle at Yavin 4 against the Death Star. The battle of Yavin against the Death Star. Right, okay, so there's one fight from that movie that we could use in a game. Awesome, right, okay, fine. Some sort of assault on the Death Star, I'm all for it. Be an interesting concept. Go to Empire Strikes Back, you've got Hoth. Obviously you have Hoth, that's a big part of it. That's the entire first thing. And it's why that's always been a fight. It's always been one of the maps that you can do. Both in the original Battlefront and in the remakes. You had the Battle of Hoth. Good, right. Still on board, that's a solid one. Cloud City wasn't a war. Nothing, there's no battle there. Okay, well, where else do we go after that? Well, we don't. We go to Cloud City, we're in Bespin, that's it. There's no fight in Bespin. There's the duel between Luke and Vader, but that's it. And then we go to Return of the Jedi, and you've got, obviously, the main one being Endor. So you've got a ground stuff on Endor, and you've got the space battle for the second Death Star. Right, cool. That's 2 big fights. So I can appreciate that. We can definitely run with that. But again, we start in Tatooine. There's not really a fight there. And then from Tatooine, Luke goes back to Dagobah. There's not fighting Dagobah. Like, in terms of the Galactic Civil War, it made for an amazing story and amazing movies, but there's nothing there to use in a game. So, for me, it would make for a good linear story game. It would make for something. But from a Battlefront kind of thing, there's just not enough there. It's, Hoth, Endor, Yavin. That's it. 3 major space or ground battles. What I think a new Battlefront should focus on, Battlefront 3, if they ever do it, is they should not even go to Galactic Civil War. And I understand the concept of creating a Battlefront game, a Star Wars game, and not being able to play as Luke, or Darth Vader, or Han, or Lando, whatever. Like, in Battlefront 2, Lando is my dude. That snapshot, beautiful. Wipe out entire groups. Leia is overpowered as fuck. I know people use all the lightsaber heroes, the likes of Luke and Vader and stuff. And it's there, it works. But from the movies, which is obviously where you take these games, we don't really see Leia fight that much. We don't see Lando fight that much. Han just shoots things every so often. Like, you can't. For me, you can't use them in the game to as much effect as you want. What they should do is they should focus entirely on Battlefront 3, The Clone Wars. That's what it should be. And I'm not talking about movie Clone Wars. We have 7 seasons and 2 movies worth of Clone War material to choose from. And you have all sorts of big grand battles across the entire thing. So many different locations, different space battles, different heroes that you can use. You can have the likes of Rex introduced, Ahsoka. You can bring in Azaz Ventress for the Separatists. You're going to have use of the likes of Illa Sakura, Kit Fisto. You could even use the the disposable Jedi like Ima-Gun Di or Ima-Gun Di, who was in one episode, and it was only there for that one episode, but it was a really good episode. The fact that we don't even know this guy and it was still like a major thing, it was fantastic. And you could easily start the game from a campaign point of view. You could run it from Geonosis and you could run it to Order 66 in Coruscant. There's your timeline. Have all this stuff in between it. You can do stuff where you have to take part in the Battle of Ryloth. You have to take part in the assault on the Jedi Temple. You have to take part in the Battle of Geonosis. And then, it can jump from people to people, whatever. You can do stuff like the Battle of Christophsis. There's so much you could do with that. So many heroes that you could introduce. You could do all sorts of things. And you could then bring back the Galactic Conquest from the original Battlefront 2. The one that I spent most of my time playing. Where you have your fleets, you move them around, you got to take the planets, and you're fighting for the galaxy between Republic and Separatists. Outside of the story. You can do that as a single player thing that has all these features that lets you play with all the stuff, plays the heroes, plays the ships, like we originally had, which the new ones didn't have. Then also still have all your online stuff, and I would play the shit out of that game. I would buy it almost immediately and I would never stop playing that. That would be incredible. It would be so fucking good if that was a thing. Mainly because Kit Fisto is my dude. He is an incredible Jedi. One of the few that is obviously amphibious. His lightsaber works underground, and he was a master lightsaber user. He was a master of Shicho. Dude could go toe to toe with most saber wielders. You see him in the Clone Wars take apart Grievous by himself. I would love to be able to play him in a game. Would absolutely love it. And there's all these other Jedi. There's all these different battles that you could do. It would make for a much more entertaining game. But it then comes back again to, who would you trust to make that game? I don't know. I honestly don't know who I would trust to actually make a shooter game. There's too many companies that produce this slightly odd product. And then they'll work on it the rest of the time and they expect us to be happy with an unfinished thing. But I fully appreciate the last 2 years of pandemic. Everything with COVID has forced people to have to work from home, which, as a game developer, having to work from home is kind of tricky to try and coordinate all your different stuff and get out a game that works. Updates were slow, expansions that were supposed to be coming out, DLCs, things like that. A lot of that was taking time. There was almost every project that was supposed to come out got delayed somehow. And it's completely fair. I understand it. But saying that, there's still a difference between delaying something because it's not quite finished and just going, fuck it, and sending it out. Battlefield was not done. That game's dead. I don't think they can even fix that. You know, I got that because the likes of Steve and Crispy and Maro were saying that they'd played them, they were great. Battlefield 4 is apparently this amazing Battlefield. And Steve was saying that Battlefield 4 came out and it wasn't a particularly good launch, but they worked on it and eventually became probably the best of the Battlefields. I haven't really played Battlefield, so I went on their recommendation. We got 2042 and it was alright. It was fun to play for a little bit, and then I've never had an urge to really go back to it. And apparently I'm not the only one that shares that sentiment. Everyone else has kind of ditched that game, and yeah. There's less people than there is the number in their title. There's less than 2042 players. On a game that was supposed to be this huge next-gen installment of their franchise, has resulted in them potentially actually just outright killing their franchise. Good shit on that. So, yeah, DICE are the ones that did Battlefield. DICE is who did Battlefront. You don't want them now handling the next Star Wars game. So who would you get? Who would you get to do it? I don't know. But I would very much like to see a third Battlefront game that focuses more towards Clone Wars. There's everything to do with that. The hint is in the name. Clone Wars. It's an actual war. It was a galactic war that spanned across all over the place. You know, you consider the Empire War map, if anyone's played that game. Strategy game that involved you taking planets and shit. But Galactic War, you had the galactic map of all these planets for you to take, and you had all these fights on them and all over the place. And it was great. It was fantastic. You have that map, but you combine it with a first-person shooter thing with that. And, oh, yeah. Give me it. I want it. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. I would quite like to see it. I would very much like that for Battlefront 3, but I don't know if it'll ever happen. I don't think it'll ever happen. I'm excited to see with the likes of LEGO Star Wars and Fallen Order 2 and Eclipse and whatever other Star Wars games they give us, but they aren't going to give us another Battlefront 3 for a while, and I really want to see that. So yeah. Anyway, we're going to go away. That's the video. I just wanted to talk about this, the idea that we had, and I would very much like to see you in the comments, see what kind of thing you would like. What kind of heroes would you want to play? What kind of villains would you want to play? Who would you add onto the Separatists? Because the Separatists really only have Ventress, Dooku, and Grievous. Not sure who you put in across that to then fight the Jedi. They were kind of the primary ones that you go with. However, let me see what you go with that. Also, as I said at the start, we do stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Thursday's Destiny Day, so if you're a Destiny 2 player, come hang out with us then. Monday, Tuesday, we do solo stuff, and then we've got the stuff in the evening with the mods. Tuesday's Indie Day, Indie Evening with Kite. There's a variety of stuff that happens on the channel. All these live streams, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. You should definitely come hang out. You can talk Star Wars, you can talk movies, you can talk music. I don't even care. You can talk about all of it. I love it, and I'll talk to it. So, yeah, let's do it, and we'll see you then. Bye.